You save more. You think more. You start to plan ahead. But somehow the people closest to you keep pulling you back into the same habits, the same spending, the same small way of thinking. That is not just bad luck. It is a social test. Think about a bucket of crabs. One crab might climb out alone, but once the others notice, they grab it and drag it back down. Wealth works like that in real life. So let's look at why friends and family resist your progress, how social gravity works, and how you protect your mind without turning cold. Before you fix the money side, you need to see the force around you. Social gravity is simple. You absorb the standards of the people near you. Their habits start to feel normal. Their limits start to feel reasonable. Their excuses start to sound like facts. What this means is, your financial life does not grow in a vacuum. If the people around you spend fast, avoid risk, laugh at discipline, and treat planning like fear, you start to breathe that air without even noticing. Then one day you wonder why saving feels heavy and why patience feels lonely. There is a basic reason for this. Human beings copy each other. We mirror tone, mood, language, and belief. You don't need a textbook to see it. Spend enough time around people who complain, and your mind starts scanning for reasons to complain. Spend enough time around people who spend to feel good, and restraint starts to feel strange. That is why social gravity shows up in small moments first. Not in big speeches, in jokes, in side comments, in looks across the table when you say you're cutting back. You skip a dinner out, and someone tells you to live a little. You pass on a flashy purchase, and someone asks why you work so hard if you never enjoy your money. You stop wasting weekends, and suddenly you are too serious. Those lines sound harmless, but they carry a message. Come back to the group norm. Stop changing the rules. Stop making us feel exposed. This is where most people get confused. They think resistance only counts if someone openly wants them to fail. That is not how it usually works. Most of the time, people are not trying to destroy you. They are trying to protect their own comfort. Your discipline creates tension because it forces comparison, and comparison is painful. If you start building a buffer while someone else keeps spending every extra dollar, your behavior quietly asks a question they do not want to answer. If you can do this, why can't they? If you stop chasing status, why are they still trapped by it? If you begin thinking long-term, what does that say about the life they have accepted? So they defend themselves the fastest way they can. They pull your new behavior down to the old level. Not with logic, usually. With shame. With humor. With guilt. You hear lines like, "Money is meant to be spent," or "You only live once," or "You think you're better than us now." Listen closely and you will notice something. None of those lines deal with your plan. They protect an identity. They protect the story that says impulse is normal, discipline is weird, and staying the same is safer than changing. Now, not every critic is an enemy. Some people worry because they care about you. Some think you are going too far because they have only seen money handled badly. We need to be fair about that. But repeated pressure against self-control is still pressure, even when it comes wrapped in concern. That is the trap. You think you are building wealth with numbers, but really you are trying to hold a new standard inside an old emotional climate. And climates shape outcomes. If every room you enter punishes patience, mocks restraint, and rewards short-term relief, your money will keep leaking through other people's expectations. Once you see that clearly, you stop arguing with every comment. You stop trying to win approval from people whose habits keep producing the same results. And that matters, because the next step is not debating the pull. The next step is reducing it. Once you see the pull, the answer is not more willpower. You need less friction. If your environment punishes discipline every week, motivation will keep losing because motivation gets tired and environment does not. You need distance before you need another pep talk. That distance does not mean becoming cruel or dramatic. It means cutting exposure to voices that drain your standards. Less time in rooms built around blame. Less money talk with people who turn every choice into a guilt trip. Less hanging around habits you are trying to leave. If every meetup ends in impulse spending, gossip, complaint, and excuses, you already know the cost of that room. This is why silence helps so much. Stop announcing every financial move while it is still fragile. Do not tell everyone about your savings target, your debt plan, your side income, or the fact that you finally started investing. Early goals need protection. The more people you tell, the more opinions you invite, and weak opinions can kill strong plans when the plant is still young. Think about a seed. You do not dig it up each day to prove it is growing, and you do not hand it to people who like to step on things. You let it take root in private. Money works the same way. Quiet progress compounds better than public promises. Now, if you create distance from the old signal, you need a better signal to replace it. Empty space is not enough. Your mind will always copy something, so choose what it copies. That can be books, interviews, long-form conversations, and communities where discipline feels normal instead of strange. You do not need rich friends at first. You need better inputs. A serious mentor can help, but even a distant voice can shift your standards if you let it. You spend time with people who speak calmly about patience, investing, saving, business, and delayed reward. Your mind starts to treat those things as normal. That matters more than most people think because normal is powerful. Once a behavior feels normal, it stops feeling like sacrifice. This leads to a harder question, and you need to ask it honestly. Do the people around you produce the life you want? Not do you love them. Not have they been there a long time. Look at the habits. Look at the outcomes. If you follow their thinking for 10 years, where do you end up? That question changes relationships fast. Some people respect your boundaries even if they do not share them. Keep those people close. Some tease you once, then adjust. Fine. Others keep mocking discipline, keep inviting chaos, keep borrowing your peace because they refuse to build their own. That is different. You do not owe full access to people who punish your growth. So use a simple filter. Who respects no, who always pressures yes, who grows when challenged, who gets offended when you change, who leaves you clearer after a talk, and who leaves you heavy. Pay attention to that pattern long enough, and your circle becomes easier to read. When the social pull weakens, everything gets lighter. Saving does not feel like rebellion. Patience stops feeling lonely. Your standards hold longer because fewer people are tugging at them. And wealth finally gets a chance to stay where you put it. If you want a new financial life, you need a new emotional environment, because money rarely grows where your standards get dragged down every day. What belief from your circle have you had to unlearn? Put it in the comments, and watch the next video on building your first real buffer, because distance from pressure means very little if you still have no margin.